Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. You've done this before. I love it. This is great. Okay, so it's a book cover. I can sort of, yeah. So it's the book cover that's behind you. So it's a book cover. It's a full front and back sleeve or jacket. It's the main image is courage, and then the subhead is find your fire and ignite action in your life, Glenda. And then okay, so in the photo is you're there. Full on red. There's lots of red. It's really great. Red lips, red hair, red pants.
Fire, baby, fire.
Fire. I love it. Of course, because yes, there's
right.
Yeah, find your fire. Ignite action in your life.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So is this your first book?
It is first, and I think last. That was painful.
Okay, I've helped people write books. Several books, and as a ghostwriter and stuff, and
nice.
And how I describe it is it's like a baby, It takes a long time to make,
yes.
And then you finally push it out, and it's like, woo! And then you're like, now I've got a baby.
Yeah,
so talk to me about your book.
Yeah, I have a fun story around that. So it started in my kitchen in 2018 where a girlfriend of mine came up to me. She goes, "You're a badass." And I go, "What?" And the first thing I want to do was like, "No, I'm not, don't accept that,
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself, stop, like
own it,
acknowledge that. And what does that mean to me? And so I created a whole acronym around badass.
Okay.
And then, so starting with that, badass is beautiful, accessible, daring, available, savvy, and sassy. And to me, that's what a badass is, right? So yep. I reprogrammed that for myself and for others. And then I decided I was going to do a magazine and get other women to write in it. This was back in 2018. And just show off their work. And it got to be too much. Then it moved into a podcast. Then it was like, okay, if I'm talking about all these things and people are talking, I should write something. So I thought, you know what? Let's see if I have anything of value. So I sat down, I was in Boston at the time, and I sat down and I go, okay, 10 chapters. And I'm going to make an outline. And then every day I'm going to write a chapter. And I'm going to write it and every day. And I wrote every day, and it took me 15 days.
Amazing.
And I was proving to myself that, again, if you have commitment to things, you can get them done.
More so than that, I would say, is going back to clarity.
Clarity, exactly. That's what.
Because in a way, it's like some people I've talked to and some people I've read about and whatever who have pushed out a book super quickly. Is kind of like, in a way, it was writing itself. It was like,
exactly.
So you have that clarity.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I did. And I was like, I was proving something because I have a friend that's like been writing a book for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
well, it's a different
player, please. It don't take that long. So I had to prove it to myself. And I'm not saying that it was an easy walk in the park. I'm just saying that I stayed focused in each chapter, and I really shared the stories. And then I had to go back and reorganize everything.
Of course.
I had to reread it. I had to, and then eventually I shared it with a coach of mine, and she said, "Oh, this is a book. You need to get this out." I'm like, "Okay, nice. What do you do? How do you do that?" And she's like, "I've got a woman that will go through your book with you. She'll be the editor, and then she'll help you put it all together." And she did. And that's how we did it. And that happened in about a year. It took it took a while.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Courage, find your fire and ignite action in your life. Okay. So this is a self-help book of sorts, peppered with your own life lessons. How do you, like a song or like a story or whatever, it lives by being read, or it lives by being absorbed or appreciated, consumed, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So how, for the person listening who's thinking about writing their book or first of all, checking out your book, but then also how do you get to the stage of wanting to write it? You write it because all of your life
Yeah.
has fed this.
Right.
The book gets printed. Then what is the process of getting people to read it?
Marketing, having conversations like this, and
Hmm.
hopefully sharing enough inspiration that people go, yeah, I want to take a look at that,
Yep.
or I see value in that. And I think that's yeah, that's for music. That's for, it's people getting to know me, and
Hmm.
having some curiosity and seeing, is there value for them? Like when I read, or when I listen to someone else talk, especially if they're sharing their stories, I try it on, like, oh, could I
Hmm.
do that? Or like, that's a really good antidote on that, like, oh yeah, I should think like that.
Wow.
It's like, so I keep trying things on myself. And so I just ask people, if they want those stages in life, what they can do is they can just, it's a quick read. It's not a long, it's a handbook. I consider it a handbook. And then you can read in there, you can see my stories, you can see my failures, and then how I got through them.
Right.
And then I give you little ideas so you could write down for yourself,
Hmm.
what are you committed to, or whatever, there's a variety
Yeah.
of things in there. But yeah, it's been I guess kind of a legacy moment in a way, being able to share my stories as
Hmm.
an artist, but anybody can try it on, you know?
But what I really like is when the universe sort of, because we have our understanding of what we think, like we can only handle so much stuff in our heads. So we
Right.
think we have this perspective, and then something pops up that's either hiding in plain sight or whatever that you couldn't anticipate, that all of a sudden clobbers you in the head, or is such a gift that you're like, you were there the whole time and this is amazing. So can you give an example of how your book manifested in bringing somebody to you who said, like, this is one consequence that you would never have expected?
I think it really started. I had been, so I had several girlfriends that would call me. Oh my God, I needed, and I would like coach them through stuff or whatever. And I'm not a coach. That's not what that's not what I do. But I have this practical way of thinking and how I be, right?
Hmm.
And so I thought, this keeps happening. Maybe I should write these things down,
Hmm.
and give it to other people without knowing me. And I thought, well, is there value there? Do I have value? And it was more of that kind of conversation for myself.
Right.
Like, is this interesting? Do I have anything of value? And so I just started breaking stuff down. Like, how do I have courage? Well, I got to get really clear about stuff. And then I'm going to do, and it was kind of like that. And that's when I started writing. I started really getting into, wow, look, all the stories that were coming out. It's like, oh, I
Hmm.
didn't have courage to do that. But then how did I get there? Well, this is how I got there.
Right. But so far, I mean, I think that's kind of the sort of the awakening, or the self discovery of
Hmm.
what's kind of been simmering in your head the whole time.
Hmm.
But is there an example that pops up where somebody came, somebody you don't know, who says, "I saw your book, and this is kind of what happened because of that."
Oh, good question.
And sorry, it doesn't have to be the book. It could be music. It could be a conversation. Because I kind of find those unexpected moments really golden.
Oh gosh, they are. I think I get more, excuse me, more of those through the music, because I'm actually meeting them.
Mhm, mhm.
And I'm meeting those people. I'm not so much with the book. I mean, I've had some good feedback, and they're as testimonials on my website, but it's so unique to everyone. Like, I'll have people that come up to me and go, "Oh, that song was so deep. I have to go home and process it."
Oh, wow, wow.
Yeah, like, that really hit me on a core level emotionally.
Mhm.
That happened to a woman that came to one of my shows. I was like, whoa, okay. And it was a song that I was like, that's a throwaway.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah, yeah,
oh, just
yeah.
one of my songs. And then there are songs that I love that no one cares about.
Okay, I want to rewind a little bit
Yeah.
because I want to get as much from you as possible. You'd said something and just because this is totally outside of what I experience. She did something about Emmy judge, Emmy, like I
Grammy,
what is that? Grammy, sorry,
Grammy,
Grammy.
Grammy. Yeah,
So see, that's how little I know. So
yeah.
what is that? Share that part of your life.
Well, it's called the Recording Academy. It's an association here in the United States, and what it is, it's a bunch of peers that select each other to be in a group, in a cabal,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and you have there's some specific things that you have to be and do. Part of it is you have to be a professional entertainer, musician, songwriter, sound engineer, mastering engineer, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a variety, there's levels, and you have to be recommended by two people that are in the industry.
Right.
That's your on deck. And then once that happens, then the process looks like this. Then I fill out a form saying why I think I should be inside of the Recording Academy. And then they decide if I should be in the Recording Academy
Right,
based on
right.
whatever hidden agenda they have. And then once you're in, then you become the voting member.
Okay.
And there's a variety of things inside of the Recording Academy. Voting member is what I chose to be.
How large is the population of people?
Well, for the Recording Academy, I think there's 60,000 members, I think.
Holy shit. Okay.
Total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are I think 40 or 60, something like that. Sorry. Could be 40. But we're all voting members, and there's in different regions. So California and Colorado, we're paired.
Okay.
And then there's Northwest, and then there's the Southeast, and New York.
Yeah.
So
okay, fascinating. Yeah, so one side of service, right? Going back to, is it Lulu White?
yeah.
So one of the sort of principles of it is that service can only happen between people, and that in a way you need a community and you need a network of people.
Yes.
And Lulu White, in offering her service, she had on the one hand her community of women within the brothel, and I imagine some men as well who work there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are there to provide a service to the community, and that's their energy is exchanged. Similarly, when you're putting together music or putting together a book, and then in the same way with this, with the recording academy. Now, so let's bring it back to your book in terms of to have the courage. So how does community and network feed your ability to thrive, or your ability to get things done or to realize a goal?
Depends on the goal, and we're all connected. We're all independent, and we're all having our experience. And I think what happens is that when you do choose and create your community, they can hopefully you'll create a community that supports you in some way, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever. And that's there's so many thoughts in my brain, but I think I hope I'm answering your question.
We're just talking. I mean, it's like, just run with it.
Okay. I feel like, I think on some level we're all in service.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know it.
Yep,
even
I
if
agree.
you profess that you're not in service, guess what? You're an asshole and you're in service.
No judgment though, but I'm judging you.
You can't get away from it, because that's going to be your experience, right? If you play the bad guy, you get to either learn that you're the bad guy, or you just keep being the bad guy, and that's your part. So to speak. And, you could be a bad guy with one person and a really good guy with somebody else.
Sure.
There's service there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And from the perspective of service leadership, that the work and the books and the training that I've done, it's like, it is that, within a network, within a group of people, you can either enhance your service to others, and that's, you're kind of, you're uplifting people around you, but you can also be toxic. Sure. And obviously you're kind of ruining the health of the service, or the network. But I want people to go get courage, because it's all about giving in a way. And I want, like, how about you Call to action to people to become badasses.
Yes.
A badass in your sense of the word.
Let me just center in this. What does that mean for you in your life? You create what that word means. I call people to stand in their own clarity and their own empowerment. And if it's not there, look for it. Be curious. Evolve yourself and step forward in whatever that is for you. And you will make a difference for somebody. And I think that's my call to action. Please just be clear and step forward. Take action.
Glenda in the house. Glenda Benevides. I love your name. I could say it forever and ever. I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you. You know, it means good life.
Benevides.
Benevides.
So is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.